I think a lot of the changes that the Direwolves need to make honestly should be the way that they play the laning phase to capitalize on the farm-heavy spooks.
Well, better late than never. And speaking of, we're going straight through these bans. Graves, Poppy, Lysandra out for Direwolves. Twisted Fate, Gangplank, Tom Kench for the Chiefs. Most notably, as Lulu goes over to shop, Fnatic's champions are open. And there's Corki. Love this pick away from Raze.
Corki's a great pick away. The Lulu as well. It's essentially picked away from the Chiefs. We'll see how it goes. It's holy moly.
Yep, as Alistar, these guys are flying through this. So Lucian Braum for the Direwolves there for 2 and 3. And slowing things down, it's not too much. Ezreal, Elise, the picks there for the Chiefs.
How does one analyze?
Maybe wait for the whole team comps?
I got nothing left. Ezreal Corki actually picked, though, for the Chiefs. Taking Corki away from Raze, in particular, and getting Ezreal themselves to be flexed between Cheese and Raydir. I like this. From the Chiefs. It's aggressive, and it's not the Cheese we saw in Game 1. It's the actual Cheese.
Yeah, and again, we've seen Fnatic play the Ezreal very competent on that champion. Nice to see, again, Chiefs sort of taking away a lot of the primary picks. It might actually mid Corki, because Raydir loves Ezreal so much, but he is proficient on both, so good flexibility here. But there's the Zac. It's a Sybil special. And what does Fnatic get? He gets a champion this game. Yasuo's open, Cass is open.
We've seen Kassadin picked into Corki as well. I'm not sure if we've seen it picked into Ezreal, but I feel like it's a very similar principle, that if you stay in the minion wave, the Ezreal has to auto you, gets minion aggro, and you can just Q him if he tries to use magic damage.
Woo!
Yeah. Apparently every spell now makes that noise.
So there's Kassadin picked in there for the dial. So Fnatic's going to get a huge champion for himself here. It's not the Yasuo, unfortunately, which wouldn't have been too bad with the Zac into double AD carry, but we'll see what the Chiefs want to round out their comp with.
Yeah, I mean, the Kassadin pick in particular, like they already know every lane except for their new carry, I'm going to say, and Swiper in that top lane, so can pick whatever they want knowing it's the Lulu now. And honestly, Swiper's got everything in the bag. He can go Renekton if he really wants and just continue to try and make Sharp's life a living hell.
Well, Sharp definitely has a lot of Lulu experience, was a former mid laner, of course, and now definitely a lot more experience in the top lane, and it's showing. But proficient on the champion, it was kind of a go-to for him when he was starting out in the role.
Yeah, definitely was, and we'll see how he goes on this Lulu one more time. Swiper, we just mentioned, he's getting all the resources, he's going to be the big carry, so Sharp's naturally going to have pretty rough time.
Well, you can see maybe Fiora actually for Swiper continuing the carry trend, in fact.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the pick here for Swiper. I like it a lot into the Lulu. But the Direwolves are fine comp themselves. Sybil's pressure definitely going to have to really show up here, but Spooks on something a bit more aggressive now. Graves was banned away, so at least there for Spooks creates a much more aggressive jungle matchup.
Yeah, the Graves ban as well. Interesting. I didn't think Spooks had much of an impact, but they just want to get rid of that champion from the board entirely. Spooks playing this Elise. They've got the Hyper Tank in Ejim on the Alistar, so it's another change for the Chiefs roster. And honestly, it's another very well-rounded team composition across the board here for the Chiefs. The one thing to consider is Direwolves' laning phase in the mid lane is going to struggle. Their top laner is going to, I'm going to say, do well early and then really start to struggle anyway. A lot of the onus is on Sybil to make things happen.
Yep, and he's got a good champion for it as well. Zac Ganks, we've seen them recently, I believe, in the OPL. Pretty deadly. We saw it from Jews, of course, on Sin, where they played the very fun Alistar, the Sin comp, basically. Alistar, Yasuo, Zac, some other champion that didn't matter.
Well, the idea was the Wombo.
Yes.
And it was using the Zac as the primary engage tool, because once you get levels into the elastic slingshot that you max first, the range is just absurd, to say the least.
Woo!
Yeah, kind of flails behind him. It's like an extended Soraka here.
Well, you can see the team comes there on your screen. Give us the hashtags, of course, if you think Direwolves can take it to a third game with DW win, or if the Chiefs are going to stay undefeated in games and matches and retain the OPL Legend title with hashtag CHF win. Of course, hashtag IMO for all your OPL Twitter-related needs. And this should be a game Fnatic's must carry. He played Varus. He got more of a farming champion. His Kassadin is legendary. Gets banned so often.
Yep.
If he's going to go absolutely off tap and have a good game, it's going to be this one.
And it was banned from him in Game 1. So this is the ultimate opportunity for Fnatic. The ultimate possibility for Bubblegum Sybil as well. Because he needs to focus that bottom lane, I believe, or mid. Top's going to have to be, and it was mentioned on the analyst desk, top has to be an island. Like, you just don't go up there. It's a resort. Get away.
I mean, Sharp's on Lulu, so he can go on a bit of a holiday. Probably not too, probably pretty safe. As Cheese, is that in range? Nope, just one auto. Cheese, though, is on the mid Corki, so Ray's love for Ezreal does prevail this time around. And Ray's on that Lucian. We heard Ejim talk about knowing his Lucian back when he was a young solo queue player. Now here is a rookie in the OPL. Looking good in that last game. Definitely last hits the absolute smack out of some minions, but see if he can get a bit more damage to Champions Zone. He was doing work in that last game.
And funny, they've gone for the Kassadin not knowing which champion's going to be mid lane, but if you had to pick out of the two, the Corki is the better matchup for Fantix to work this in with. Honestly, just a smart decision here for Direwolves. If they can bridge Fantix into the mid game, I feel like there is a very real chance that this Kassadin will start to go off and hyper carry for his team.
And that's something I think we haven't really seen from Fantix as a mid laner yet. Had a couple of games like that as a top laner originally on Direwolves, but moved to mid lane. That's where he's comfortable, and this is one of his champions. So we'll see what he can get done here as Swiper hanging out on the top side with Spooks. Going to be helping out with the Krugs. And looks like standard lanes to start things off here.
Yep. Standard start. Top lane is helping their junglers respectively get the minions that they were looking for. Everything's going to be standard, but we're working towards the bottom side of the map again naturally here. Both Spooks and Sybil go towards their strong side of the map where their support can roam and rotate if need be.
Good Q there, but Cheese Auto's definitely hurt early on as Corki.
Yeah.
So Fantix going to have to make sure he's got plenty of charges in that corrupting potion, but Fantix probably knows almost every matchup on this champion. He's going to be just fine here. Cheese does hit level 2, and there's the Cheese aggression we know and love.
So that's the thing with this matchup, right, is the Q can get blocked for the magic damage that it deals, but if he's auto-attacking you and weaving them in at the exact same time, you can't actually trade with him. And Gatling Gun is an overwhelming source of power. It's actually quite hidden. You don't realize how much it does.
Yeah, you can see a bit of poke there as well. Kassadin melee, a little predictable on those last hits under tower, so Cheese can abuse this fact as well. And even Gatling Gun just out of range of the tower. Very nice harass from Cheese. Fantix already threw all of his potion charges.
Yeah, but of course it's a teleport mid laner here for this Kassadin, so trying to get as much farm as he possibly can. He's got the Master who's to sustain him as well. And he's going to be relatively happy moving forward, but just such a volatile lane.
And here comes the Spook pressure. Back to the lane we expected. A sharp hit to Cocoon. Damage in there, and that's going to be a force flash, but the Vitals procced in. Might be a kill here, and it is going to be Swiper. Flashes forward for first blood.
Really well timed here from Spooks. The ward was going out. Generally 3 minutes to 3 minutes 30s when you'd see jungle pressure come into that top lane. But catches him unaware, going straight from the top side of the jungle to the lane before he can ward. Takes him down. And no answer because let's just say it was a timely vital placement as well.
Yep, very nice stuff all lining up as Fantix continuing to get harassed under this turret. She's still weaving those autos in nicely. Fantix,
he flashed.
Yeah, he had to. Cheese didn't even have Ignite this time, believe it or not.
And Cheese didn't use a summoner spell, so big benefits gained in this middle lane. Fantix overstayed his welcome indefinitely.
Yep. I think a little too greedy for the minions, perhaps.
Speaking of greedy.
Yeah, he's going to TP back in, so out of summoners now in mid lane.
No, I don't mean summoners. He's got a Dark Seal.
Oh my. That is greedy.
That's aggressive.
Yes.
Got his mini Mejais.
It certainly is. Let's see if we can get really heavy on the farm here.
So, I mean, I don't dislike this because he's looking for Sybil to gank. Ejim has found Kuden.
Yep, Kunid actually a little bit too much roaming here. Is going to be okay. Yep, Sybil, no, flashes out. Too dangerous.
Yeah.
Dragon actually aggro would have knocked him up, so does just get out safely.
I believe he was waiting for Sybil to come closer to him so that he could jump to him. Yeah.
And then just like, nope, see ya, peace.
They made the dragon mad. And he's like, oh, hang on. We can't do this.
And Spooks is just hanging out in mid lane being annoying.
Yeah, Cheese wants to recall. Desperately wants to recall. And so Spooks just here to help him clear the wave. Fantix actually in a decently big point of power as Sybil.
Whee! Oh no! Caught shopping! Forced to use the flash now on Cheese. Red buff Zaki's going to force the flash as well. A Fantix moment for Cheese in this game.
I will safely say I'm not sure that Sybil should have used the elastic slingshot that early once spotting him. He did catch him window shopping again though, Cheese. It's a bit of deja vu, I will say there, but it's in the other direction this time. Yep. Cheese was the one to catch Fantix in the first game.
That's actually a great equalizer, as we do have a pause. Shouldn't last too long though, and yeah, kind of funny little moment there, but actually getting someone is relevant, because now the lane feels a little bit better for Fantix, who I think should improve once he gains some levels, and of course once he gains items.
Well, yeah, Cheese is an aggressive player to say the least, so not having flash or heal available on this Corki actually wants to make him play back and be a lot more passive. the thing with that is now that also gives Perfection a lot of utility, because once he hits level 6, and it isn't far away, they're ticking over to 5 now, then Summoners mean less to a Kassadin than anything else, because his ultimate is essentially the flash that's already been used by him in response. So there's a lot of positives to get from the Direwolves just from catching Cheese shopping.
There is. And I guess with 6 approaching especially, is there gank pressure now for Sybil? He already ran into the lane, just, moseyed on up. Yeah. Slapped old Corki and got 2 Summoners. I feel like he can return, especially once Rift walks up.
Absolutely gank pressure available, though, in this middle lane. Zac is always going to have gank pressure in a middle lane. He's just Zac. It's kind of the way it works. He can pressure all of the above if you're looking at lanes. Look, they're going to focus this mid lane. If they don't focus this mid lane, then he has to be bottom. I think they just give up on Lulu, just let him go, ignore that he exists, work mid, get the Kassadin snowballing. I think a Lucian Braum, which is the bottom lane for the Direwolves, is very self-sufficient as well. They don't actually have a necessity to gank that lane. Still dangerous.
Yeah, and I think on the flip side, it's actually Spooks that's provided the early jungle pressure in this game, which is good, because that's what the guys at the desk are asking for. It is nice to see him with a very well-timed gank. I feel like it's rare to see a Spooks gank, but usually when he ganks, it's probably correct.
Well, the way that the Chiefs work and Spooks works with the Chiefs is that all 3 lanes win.
Yep.
And he doesn't actually need to gank. He can just sit back and he can farm. But if there's an opportunity for 300 free gold and more lane control because they're being aggressive or something to that extent, of course, the Lulu into Fiora, you try and auto-attack the heck out of Swiper in this case if you were going to be the sharp here from the Direwolves. And easy to capitalize, catch him warding. Lots of positives to gain for Swiper.
Certainly are. Sharp back in top lane, of course. Did burn the TP earlier. Viper still has his, but we'll clear a pin clawed out. Doing just fine, actually. Slight CS lead there for Sharp. So, again, as long as he stays safe, he should be okay. Sybil's actually come for a visit, but Swiper's like, nope, not interested.
He's going to ward it. You would have to imagine.
Oh, no. Face check instead. Not going to fight, but Sybil not really in position with Lulu to try and make something happen. A Spook's going to come for a mid lane visit this time.
Yeah, level 5 Fantix.
Ooh, good timing here, Spooks. Yep. Going to go in there now. Cheese just run straight for it. The damage is good. They are going to run in for the dive here. Fantix with a good slow. Decent little shield. Might keep him alive, but Cheese does want to run in. Needs one more auto attack. Lost breath bomb. Not quite enough, and Cheese is still running. Oh, he's going to go in for it. Finds it. Great trade, and pings level 6 as well.
What are you doing, Cheese?
Oh, Cheese.
No chance of killing him. That's not even like Cheese level aggression. That's just silly. And
I thought that was Cheese
6
level aggression. Yeah, a kill there for the Fantasy. We talked about the Kassadin Snowball. Gifted on a silver platter and the Dark Seal stacks to boot. That was awkward, to say the least.
Oh, he's now 13 CS in the lead with a kill, so effectively about 25 CS in the lead here in this middle lane. That's just unbelievable. I love it, and I hate it.
Yes, I love that you preface that with, he doesn't have any summoners. He's probably going to play back a bit more. Nah, still Cheese. But it does cost him dearly there, as the kill is up for the Kassadin. The only one for the Direwolves currently, as we check in with the bottom lane. Radio up on CS this time around. But Ejim's Alistar getting contained a little bit better this time. Raised there with the BF, so it should be just fine. And you said it already, very self-sufficient here.
Yeah, absolutely. This bottom lane for Direwolves should be fine on their own. They don't necessarily need the gank pressure from Sybil. And if there's one thing to note, it's the fact that Cheese has decided to be hyper-aggressive. There's real opportunities for him just to come mid against Sybil.
Yeah, I think so as well. And Sybil, not quite 6 yet, but still plenty of damage to be done here. As a blue buff is actually going to go over to Kassadin. But it looks at things on the old mini-maps, we do have another pause. Apologies. Welcome back, guys. Good insight there from the desk. Love to see the replay again. I'm sorry that you had to watch it one more time.
Everyone makes mistakes, pastry time. Cheese just had his moment with a very convenient pause after he did it. So we got to rewatch it in all its glory.
Hopefully Cheese has had a bit of time to reflect on his decision making and can be okay as we will pop back into the game.
Gooden was just standing out of the bush.
Woo!
Just watching them. He wasn't saying woo man, he's Braum. There's no way Braum's pitch goes that
way. No, that's true. Ooh, no. Ooh. Well, we'll leave it for now as double check back in. I remember that Dark Seal actually. It's interesting to hear the word disrespect. I somewhat agree with the comp here for Chiefs, even though I can also see what they're doing with it. But I feel like Dark Seal is just, I guess a little disrespectful from Fantix. Either he's like, I have to snowball this game and need a snowball item, or he's like, yeah, pretty sure I got this.
I just think it's funny as well, looking on the side of Cheese with his item build, going towards the Phage instead of a Sheen. because he's now struggling in this laning phase. And a lot of his trading capabilities have come from the Sheen doubling your auto attack damage against someone when you're doing primarily magic with spells.
Yeah, and this is one of the unique things about Kassadin.
Like, look how bad Cheese is going in this lane right now.
You can see real good pressure there from the Kassadin Fanatics. Not going to quite pull the wave all the way over. Sharp playing back is actually still up on CS, so staying even in the situation is good. He does have his flash and his ulti up as well, so going to be a bit harder for the kill there. And Swiper also getting the free farm, has the teammate up as well. So just farming here, pretty different top laners. One carry, one utility, but should be just fine.
World record reconnection pace as well.
The sickest internet. Sharp, again, still hanging out here. Good vital proc there, very nice. And Sharp's like, yeah, I don't really like this. Going to hang out my turret and just clear waves and hope I don't die.
Lots of pressure from Swiper. That's the thing you have to take away from that. Trying his hardest is, keep in mind, we said Cheese has made a mistake, could be disrespectful. He's now got a package, so if he were to tower dive, he could at least make it to the second turret this time.
Only he had it before. Would have been perfect, but not this time. And Fantix has complete control of this lane. He's almost 20 CS ahead as well, plus that kill. And the Rotovator's coming up very soon, you have to think here. So it's strength here in the mid lane for Direwolves. Top lane actually looking good as well. Sharp pulling ahead slightly in CS. And bottom lane as neutral as we'd expected, I guess.
We're just naturally gravitating towards this lane because we just feel like Cheese.
Yeah,
you have
he's got the package.
Oh, you suck.
He hit both summoners this time. He didn't use the package.
Nah, he's struggling in this lane. He's actually starting to pull it back a bit. The ultimate poke out of the Corki is great. Can kind of keep you in it with surprise damage that the Kassadin can't shield.
Yeah, you can see Fnatic starting to play out much more aggressively in the lane. Sharp, though, could be in trouble. Repost for the slow. Sharp going to move it around, but needs to cover the vital. Doesn't quite cover it enough. But good damage back in from Sharp, though. Oh, now here comes the challenge. Wild Growth pop, though. This could be it for Sharp as Swiper basically forces ulti for ulti.
That was actually good for Sharp. He pushes Swiper away. Both have their teleport, so I don't think any kill will eventuate from this, but he actually won the trade.
Yeah, smart stuff there. Really good use of those Lulu cooldowns again, showing some of the practice on the champion. Fantix, too aggressive that time. Corki's auto still hurt, buddy.
Definitely. Just wants that farm. He's actually going to recall, and I would say timed well with the blue buff being given to Cheese here. He's going to push in himself and find a lot of money back in his favor. And it's funny, we are talking a lot about mid, but that's because top's going to butt heads and never die, and bottom is just literally never going to butt heads.
Yeah, no, it's been a very balanced lane there on the bottom side. We kind of expected it's, you know, more of these brawly team fight or skirmish supports, I suppose, and EGM, probably most importantly, has not been allowed to roam this game.
Sybil. That's aggressive.
Just chilling.
Yeah, he actually walked through that pink ward to place vision and force Swiper to walk further back. Lane control is absolutely with Sharp at the moment.
Yeah.
And the teleport will be forced here to get back for the next wave.
Such a subtle thing too, but it's actually good detective work, because as soon as you swipe her back, Sybil's like, he's on the bottom side jungle. There's no, like, especially with blue being up, just a nice little thing there. And Cheese does get that, and actually going to go back himself. Fantix able to walk himself back to lane. It feels like he's hanging out at the turret. But he's going to go into the wave now. Did pick up cooldown boots and a blasting one, so no rower. Wasn't quite there on the money, I don't think. But he's going to get some early CDR instead.
Did he have boots at all when he went back with the catalyst?
Maybe not, actually, so he would have
had
had
enough.
enough.
Been road.
Huh.
Yeah. Opting towards CDR boots. Earlier pressure, earlier cooldown reduction. And it doesn't really matter at 11 minutes to effectively and efficiently scale the rod, because he's still getting it early.
Certainly is with strong farm as always. Here's another challenge. Sharp not going to ulti this time. Needs to be careful. Vital's getting proc. Good polymorph there from Sharp. And now he pulls it in. Sybil coming up at a great repost there from Swiper. He does burn the flash. Slow will follow. And they might be able to chase this down. But Swiper does make it under the safety of his turret. Well played there by both sides.
And we said not to focus top lane, but I think Sybil's doing the right thing just because of how aggressively that they're playing this.
Oh, Fantix.
Kuden, it's just like, sup,
yeah,
Spooks?
that's what I literally pointed at my screen like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
As Raze.
Well, what is Raze going to do now? That's the problem.
Oh, 3v1. It's a bad time. Does have all his summoners, so unless he gets absolutely shreked by a Spooks Cocoon, it's going to be okay. But we might just have a tower trade here. Chiefs working on this bottom outer. Wave does come back in.
Lush? No, he doesn't. I was going to say. If the ultimate was there, he could clear a wave.
But going to lose this tower instead, I think. Sharp did take top tower, though, so it will be a trade effectively across the rift here. But Raze can't defend it. Kuden, I didn't mind the roam, but Chiefs able to translate easily down to the bottom side and take a tower.
Yeah, a lot of pressure was avoided just by Kuden being around to watch Spooks. They knew that he was going to come bottom, so Raze smartly backs up. And sure, they happily trade the objective, which isn't a bad thing by any means here for the Direwolves. Quite content with sitting back and farming at the moment, as they've got their scaling items in place.
Yep, and Fantix does have the roll now as well, so starting to charge that up. Good timing there at about 14 minutes. And she's also on the way to Trinity Force relatively quickly. Blue buff does go over to the Kassadin. And we're starting to see these first power-ups. In fact, Swiper and Sharp have good ones there as well. Titanic versus Roller there, sort of the expected standards.
But they're lane swapping, so they're not actually going to be versing each other, as the Chiefs took the bottom turret and immediately walked mid.
And Fantix, look at the damage starting to do. Level 11 will be a nice power-up as well. Cheese is going to have to be careful, especially without his Trinity Force. Not able to trade Clyde as effectively. And Roller obviously better when it charges, but not too bad right now. Zoridia top lane, going to try and get some work done.
And this comes back to something that Carbon said on the desk, though, Pastry Time, is that they want Ejim to roam. And now that they've got the bottom turret and they've rotated Raider to top lane, Ejim's just going to be exclusively roaming. And this is a really big opportunity for the Chiefs to get it back in their, basically, advantage.
Sharp has done the right thing here. You can't do anything.
No, he left.
So he does just leave it. He's going to give the tower over, but what pressure can Dives convert? This is the other side of that. They need to make sure they're trading well. Raze is going to just try and chunk down the bottom tower, but Fiora is there to challenge.
So that's the thing. They haven't revealed their position on the map here, Direwolves. They're actually near mid, but Swiper's assuming they're bottom because it's an immediate lane swap response. Raze is alone.
Yeah, he's going to take it too. Nice little mind game there almost by the Direwolves. And they might get both, which will be a great win for him. In fact, Cheese with the package. And Sybil in the area. Oh, he's going to go in for it. Fantix now going to fight him, but the damage might be too much here. The rest of the team is swooping in as Lulu going to port into the area as well. Oh, it cancelled it. Sharp didn't want to complete that. I think that's the right play, but Chiefs now got the inside track, straight in onto this mid tower.
Zach's nearby. He's got the flank if need be. There it is.
Good time to go in, but they only find Ejim. Cheese dodges out of the way as Kuden's not going to move forward there on the Braum. Sybil taking poke. They might just defend the turret here, but what will they lose, if anything? Damage is good there from the Chiefs.
And the poke is exactly what the Chiefs needed, being an Ezreal Corki composition. Big item spikes and working towards that objective, speeding up the pace of this game indefinitely.
Good coverage there from Kuden, actually. But Culling not quite enough there. I think they tanked up some of the hits.
They want this.
They really do. Cheese took a tower hit. Ejim just took another one.
Knowing Cheese, he'll probably take another one. Just for principle.
Well, he took like 5 in a row last time. See if he can break his record. Sybil again, though, going to charge things up. In he goes. Finds Radio and Cheese for the knockup, but Ejim headbutts him out of the way. But Fantix comes in, finds the slow. They can't dive past the tower, or will they? No. Far too low to do so, and Fantix burns his TP.
A good cocoon from Spooks actually connects with Raze, and that's a lot of their damage that was unavailable.
Swiper.
They're working around Swiper.
And once again, Swiper on the carry top laner. This time a real big carry on the Fiora, forcing Sharp to go down with no TP. Chiefs once again feels like they're playing around the map a bit better. The Dials were keeping pace, but Cheese gets away. Sybil, more pressure. Can they get this mid turret? That'll be a big win here for the Wolves, and it looks like they will.
Yeah, definitely. Going to get this middle lane turret, and they're the first to break in the middle lane. That gold lead is stretching if they can retain their own. And hello!
Sybil again. Now Fantix over the top, and Spooks will make the flash, but Fantix will make the aggressive play. Riff walks in early. Is going to get the kill. Now has to get himself out and uses the flash, but his team's there to save him.
Better safe than sorry. You do not need to use your ultimate to last hit as a Kassadin. He has availabilities everywhere and did have the flash to get himself out. Caught Spooks out of position. This is the power of Zac and the range that you can engage from and the mobility of a Kassadin to follow you up. Direwolves team comp right now needs to be respected.
Yep, and good aggressive ward spotting him there at the Wolf camp as they also get the Dragon in the exchange. Cheese almost dies 1v2 effectively to Fantix, who's starting to really go off. He's got 4 stacks. He's got his blasting wand. You can see why it's banned away from him. Fantix is not a joke on this sort of champion.
In the drafting phase, you don't give him Kassadin. He's just known historically even when we were on the NA server as one of the few people that got Challenger playing Kassadin. So it says a lot about this guy's history. And I'm just very surprised he has it on.
And this is such a big moment for Fantix. We've seen him get champions that he's known for every now and then, but teams always seem to have an answer for it. He's never quite had a standout game, despite how consistently well he generally plays. like we said, this is a real hard carry game for him, and he's set up to do so. If it was just a farm game, I could maybe, say, okay, the pressure's not really there, but 2-0 with a Dark Seal, with every advantage you can want, including your laner making a mistake against you and gifting you a kill. If Fnatic can't go off in this game, there'll certainly be questions, but he's set very well up to just absolutely romp through this.
Yeah, that's right. The standard set, he does have to meet the expectations here. Raze is also in a great position, though, to put in some work, and they've got the Lulu to complement all of the above, basically, if someone does want to go in. And here they go again.
Tower still low. Kuden covers again. Raze, he's going to get the last hits here, but the tower will go down. So the Chiefs equalize the objective, effectively equalize the gold, although there is 1,000 gold up for the Dials right now, as that ultimate
minion
didn't do anything.
Solid single minion does go down.
Collects the gold at least. Yeah. And you can see Raider grouping pretty heavily with his team. Does have his 2 items. Cheese even got the BF sword ready now as well. So it's not like the Chiefs don't have fight power. And with Swiper getting bigger, he's going to go back and get a Phage now. Is pretty annoying in that split push battle, but Sharp right now is actually answering quite well.
And you can actually see the shot calling from the Chiefs. The second Cheese came back to lane, he was like, Raider, get out.
Yep.
I'm behind in farm, I'm behind in kills, I need this lane. And immediately Ezreal just goes and farms the jungle in response. And honestly, the Chiefs trying to consolidate what they can at the moment. Pretty hard to against Zach.
Nice steal there from Silver, just walks up and smites away from Cheese, who does want the farm like you mentioned. Right now, though, it feels like a little bit more time might be needed for these teams. Everyone's sort of building up towards 2 big items. We've got 1 completed on everyone, as Abyssal actually just picked up for Fnatic there as well. I'm not quite sure what point of tension we're waiting for, but there will be a fight relatively soon. We talked about the 25-minute Direwolves. They're going to have a real strong 25th minute.
They absolutely are. Something that needs to be considered. There's no point going for the dragon fights. There's no point fighting around the Baron this early in the game. It's becoming a vision battle a lot earlier at the moment. So the first person to get picked out of position is usually the first ones to start losing the game entirely, just because the vision then gets cemented even further. Zach's the kind of champion where vision is actually essential to ensure that you don't die to him, and if you are him, to ensure that you can engage effectively and know that you're hitting priority targets. Yep. Raze was baiting that ward, by the way.
Good stuff there, and we did see kill on Spooks earlier, so you can see just how valuable that vision for Zach really is. As bottom lane, Cheese with a package looking for a gank. And Sharp, I think he knows.
He's got his eye in.
He's running away, but here we go. Cheese over the top. Wild Growth disengages it, and that's probably it on that one.
Yep, the ward spotted him super early. Cheese had no choice but to try and go before he got away. You've only got a small window to use that, so they did what they could with it.
Yeah, got a flash, not too bad. Actually stole red buff as well, so good overall pressure on that south side there for the Chiefs, but...
And the Lulu ulti as well, which is big.
Not going to take much though here for the Direwolves. Oh, here we go actually, looking for it. Ejim's the target, but that's awkward. Headbutted away. Bandix chases aggressively. Cocoon, not quite there as Radius sort of corner, but will shift over the wall to safety. Actually, a flank there from Sharp as they are going to look in for Radius. Civil all the way over, almost gets him, and now Swiper's forced to TP in, but Ejim goes in for the re-engage, pops the ulti and lands the combo, and the Chiefs are now on the assault as Kuden is going to try and peel them away. Cheese actually caught off to the right, but Sharp does here to Cocoon. No ulti for getting Cheese. It's just going to tear him down. Swiper jumps in onto Raze. The repost is there as well, but he can't quite outplay it. It's close. They actually do it. Kuden peels away, but Lucian will die. Fnatic's nowhere to be seen with barely any health. Cheese going to chase down 1 more kill, and the Chiefs take it 4-1. Make it, 4-1 with Sybil dying.
Yeah, they're going to get the 4th member. Of course, Fantix is the only survivor from this Direwolves side, and the Chiefs, again, they know Lulu's not capable of fighting. The teleport's already been used. The flash is down. The ultimate was not there. Sybil, he can try and go in, be on the back line, but he's going to be alone, and he just doesn't have the capabilities to stay alive and complement the rest of his team by being there. Raze has to just naturally go on. I'm telling you, man, these spiders.
Yeah.
They killed him again.
They certainly did.
Denny in the first series.
Spook's going again for that same build we saw Seb go for as well. Runic echoes into Rylai's, not the Cinderhulk build we saw last game from Sybil. And you think again, Dial's just waiting for a bit of a better spot there. Smart pressure there from the Chiefs. But need to see Large Rod now for Fnatic. Zhonya's is going to be the big key item for him. Because at that point, he has to just go off.
And the gold lead is basically the difference in kills. It's non-existent anymore. And that was after getting 4 kills, so completely reset here from the Chiefs. Direwolves, they need to step up in this next fight and get themselves ahead. And what do they wait for? Level 16 on Kassadin now, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, might be a little too late. Ray's actually in a bad
Swiper
spot.
knows he can.
Swiper absolutely can. Challenge issued. Swiper just slapping him down. Ray's, good luck, my friend. Oh! Whoa! Might make it out, but not quite there. Swiper, easy 1v1. Cheese, not quite there for the assist.
Nice juke, but not going to be enough to keep you alive, as that's the opposite side of the map.
This is a smart play. Ejim is going to be forced to ulti. They misrated with a knocker, but Ejim might go through the ulti, and Willa Sharp takes him out. But the re-engage is there. Cheese does a lot of damage, and Fantix needs to go in. Massive 3-man as the Wild Growth pop, and Fantix now on a killing spree is smashing through it as they have to kill Swiper. Parry is there. Kuden will fall there. A Swiper is taking them out, but Fantix, another kill as he gets a shot down. Now Cheese has to get out of it, but Sharp's going to slow him to high heaven. And Sharp's going to collect it. That's almost an ace for the Direwolves.
Spooks is the only member remaining this time.
This looks familiar.
Direwolves actually find themselves winning a skirmish. 4 members dead from the Chiefs. And this is another dragon that the Direwolves are going to be able to pick up. And it just feels like this game is so back and forth. It is so close. And it's coming down to skirmishes and team fights. And Direwolves can match the Chiefs in those.
Yep, and they've been team fighting exceptionally well. And this game is much more even than the last. Still effectively even in gold, as Fantix is so close to the Zhonya's Hourglass. He's got 10 stacks on his Dark Steel. He is worth so much money.
And he's got a Lulu to keep him alive.
That was gross.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he got caught in the fight. And he went in to do damage, got caught. But then Lulu kept him there. And he just got stacks up on that ultimate and just took everybody out. Didn't even go down himself. This is a scary Kassadin, 4-0-2.
Certainly is. And the rest of the Dials, no slapters either. You can see Ray's building up with the 2 items. Everyone on both sides getting nice and strong. And I have to say on that last play in particular, the Dials are not letting the Chiefs run them around nearly as much. That was a great reaction to the bottom lane kill.
Absolutely. They found a pick onto Ejim, who does occasionally get caught trying to place Vision down. So smart work here from DW.
Yep, killed him through the ulti as well. Just couldn't quite pop it in time. And did die as Sybil. Pretty big now on the Zac. Spirit Visage finished with the Giant's Belt also hanging out.
It's my favorite thing about Zac is he actually just gets bigger the more items he has. It's very visually appealing. You can tell how strong he is.
Intimidating perhaps for the opponents as Direwolves now a little bit more momentum here in this game. Swiper still split pushing. Fantix actually, I think, trying to take whatever empty farm he can. He does have TP. It's not up just yet. But you mentioned it already. Most importantly, he's going to go get his Zhonya's, but he does want level 16 as well.
And they early rush the Banner of Command here on Ejim to deal with Sharp and his split pushing. And I kind of like this because even Fantix will struggle to take that down if he chooses to split. And it's kind of the path that I think they may want to be taking here.
Well, see if we can swipe a bit of extra help. Ejim once again sort of hanging out with Swiper. No Shen this time, but promoted Minion will have to do as his little buddy. Cheese finds a ward. He's got the package, so you know he's ready to go in. Not that that's unusual.
Not at all, no. 2 items as well now, so everyone on the Chiefs starting to power up respectively themselves. Direwolves having 3 items on their mid laner, the rest at 2 and a bit, if not a little bit under. Gold distribution's a little bit skewed on the side of Direwolves this game.
Well, they gave the gold to the right man, but we'll have to wait a little bit to see where the next little scuffle will be. Again, the Direwolves know their windows well here. Don't want to force things too hard here. Portuguese Cheese went IE. That's great. Does an absolutely massive amount of damage.
It definitely does. Cheese is scary at the moment, but I don't think it even compares to Raider, who's just super scary. Honestly, I look at the side of the Chiefs, and I think that Swiper's the one that has to hard carry. He's capable of split pushing, and he's actually capable of letting Direwolves come to him, control the map just by putting pressure down. If there's a Banner of Command, that says to me that the Chiefs actually have that as a strategy.
Yeah, I think so too, and we'll see if they get to use it here. We do have another pause, unfortunately, but this game is unfolding nicely. We're, of course, going to go back to the analyst desk.
Welcome back to the analyst desk, guys, where we're playing League of NFL, and tactical timeouts are everywhere. However, this game has started to unfold in a very unique manner. Seems like it's kind of the Fantix, not perfection, Fantix versus Swiper show as they're trying to get advantages either in the split push or in the team fights.
I mean, we saw a very nice team fight there just before the break. But just before that, we saw some very nice split pushing. So I'm curious to see what will happen.
We actually have the teamfight replay, so let's just pull it up on your screen right now. And this is really key because Swiper's ultimate is down.
The other big thing is EGM saved his ult really late in this. Can we roll the clip? So he gets the Braum passive, and he only ults at the very, very end. Fiora's coming to roam up. She has no ult, and these guys are just running, just delaying. And then Fantix hits him with his huge burst. We get a big ult and a Glitter Lance, and then it's just clean up after that. Braum does work here. Braum does absolute work, and we said that before the game. And then, yeah, Sharp here misses the Glitter Lance, but kills him anyway.
Yeah, so in the end, Dire was able to take this one quite handily. Before that, the Chiefs had won a fight 1-for-4 this time around. It's a 2-for-4 in Direwolves' favour. And it seems that Direwolves, we keep saying it, if Chiefs split them up, look like they're a little bit out of sorts. But as soon as it gets to a 5v5 situation, have something in their sleeve.
Yeah, this is the thing. And the Chiefs, the mistake that you can often make when you're looking at their team comp, at things that could possibly happen in the game, is you forget that they just managed to pull out team fights from nowhere. So that team fight in the mid lane before this skirmish that we just watched, it just showed that Radier is fantastic at kiting on Ezreal for one, and the team is just brilliant at managing to organize these team fights effectively. So we saw them come out ahead there, but when Fantix is able to charge his ult like that and just smash people off the Rift, this is why it's so scary when he gets the likes of Kassadin, because that's 3 people that he basically deleted from the fight. So if the Chiefs make any wrong move, then it's all about Fantix, and he can just do it himself.
Yeah, and as the game progresses, death timers get longer. You can say the same thing on the other side of the Rift.
True.
Raze cannot go answer side farm anymore. That part of the game is completely done, and it really does seem like it's a macro play of a veteran lineup against what is pretty much the young mechanics crew on Direwolves. We've always complimented for the tenacity and the team fighting, and if they can balance that macro play, they will have the ability to get it done. However, guys, we are going to jump back onto the Rift, so I'm going to throw you back over to Pastry Time and Rusty to get us there.
Thanks again, as there certainly is a game unfolding here. We could push ourselves to Game 3 finally in a best-of-3 here in the OPL. So we're going to pop ourselves back in. And like we said, a very tense moment here in this particular game, Rusty.
Yeah, still definitely on a knife's edge. Very tight balance here between committing to fights and setting up for said fights. At the moment, I feel like the dance is going to continue, but honestly, I just think that between Direwolves and the Chiefs, that Sybil has better engage, and he's going to be the one to pull the trigger. And the question is, how does he actually pull it?
Yep, that's set up his timing and set up for everything here, certainly. As we do see, actually a bit of a change. So let's get one thing right here. Ray's now going to group with his team. Be a part of the roaming 3-man squad here. And looks like Sharp and Fantix, they do have double TP advantage, remember. Whoa, going in again. That's a little too far, though. Oh, my. Headbutted all the way over, but they're still going to go in. Sybil nice and tanky. Kuden pops himself forward, and Radier is somehow getting away in a brush.
He just pieced out. It was just so easy for him. Direwolves, that was actually blind. They didn't have vision of Ejim being in that bush. So kind of lucky, but also kind of calculated. You can tell the Direwolves are keeping tabs. And again, they're going to spot Ejim. Like, it's all about their vision at the moment.
Just so much more proactive, and the vision, like you said, is so important at this point. And the Direwolves are just doing it, not better necessarily, but certainly better than the last game, where they pretty much couldn't leave their base at any point in the evening. So, starting to get to a very big breaking point, where whatever fight happens...
Well, I mean, we said we were probably going to be waiting for level 16 on Kassadin, and he's now split pushing with teleport at level 15. And there it is.
Oh my.
So, you want to fight Direwolves, Chiefs. I think you don't want to fight Fantix.
No. And even Swiper right now might not want to either, but Red Buff's going to go over to Ezreal. Chiefs going to regroup themselves up.
Swiper definitely doesn't.
He just pings. He's like, you're still here? I don't want any of this.
Get him away from me.
And you can see Fantix, I think, knows that doesn't have the best vision. It's not too bad. He's going to clean this up pretty quickly. Does use the Rift Walk late. Wants to be safe, and now time to go back, spend some gold, and probably group for a fight. Dragon in 30 seconds. Not a bad place to start one, but you can bait the Baron here as well. And there's decent topside vision for Dials, although it seems like a lot of that's been cleaned up by the Chiefs. So very vigilant warding and de-warding on both sides here.
Yeah, basically, it's again, it's a dance, it's a battle. Who can actually commit to vision enough to engage the next fight and execute with enough enthusiasm and like as a team, go in and commit. Know that you can win, essentially, right? Don't want to blind engage. Direwolves are kind of working around the dragon above all else at the moment, not wanting to pull any triggers around Baron control.
Yep.
In fact, the Chiefs have a lot more of their efforts towards clearing the top side jungle. Sybil's done that like 3 times.
Yeah, just charging it up, making sure the button still works, I guess, but Direwolves onto this Dragon. Chiefs want absolutely nothing to do with this. And they're playing pretty clumped far back in the half of the map at this point.
That is number 3, though.
Yep.
So it starts to put a bit of pressure onto the Chiefs now to address these dragons.
Hey, there he is. Little promoted minion, helping Radiant, trying to steal his Eden, maybe trying to steal the CS with the cannon. Always a fun one.
That's actually the best.
Too bad you can't like micro it. How fun would that be? It's like
Control
try
your
and
cannon.
try and outlast your AD carry. I'm sure Radiant would highly disapprove, as he's going to stay for another wave. Might fancy a duel with Raze. He's going to go in for it. But Raze just going to turn and fight him. Radiant, good flash forward, but Raze going to try and outplay Young Mechanics. No, it is there. And now Spooks is going to chase it down. He will get the counter kill, but Raze really showing off now.
Not entirely sure why Raider stopped to use his ultimate. Does get dodged, and Raze outplaying Raider.
And now Fantix is actually split pushing purely on the casters. Let's just watch this again.
So the engage was there from Raider, who actually flashes here to get another Q on, but Raze knows. He immediately responds into the minion wave, somewhere that Raider will never focus. And seriously, Raider could have killed him if he just auto-attacked instead of ulting. So I'm not sold on that strategy.
Raze played it right. It's actually Fantix going to turn it back around, but Grand challenges onto Fantix. Sybil is here as well. Spook's going to get the jump on, but Fantix does not go in for it. He needs to wait. The repel's popped in. Actually a flash forward for Sybil, and now Sharp's here. Shut down as well. And now
Oh my
Cheese
God.
going in for it, but Fantix, his massive wild growth pop, and Cheese just dies with the package.
What are you doing, Cheese? Spooks was caught out of position. Zac smashes them and forces him into such a weird spot where he has to go down and die.
No, Fantix is way too healthy. Never mind, it's actually already at the fountain. As he's finished a Void Staff now as well. Cassidy's damage is ridiculous.
Yeah. He's got the package. What are you doing?
I don't
man?
know. Jesus, that's twice now at
He's
least.
confused. This game, he is genuinely confusing me.
Oh, and Direwolves. Aggressive play once more. Starting to feel themselves now a bit, and the Baron is going to get started up here. Radier, do not walk near the Cassidon, my friend. No vision here for the Chiefs. They're going to lose Baron, and they're starting to fall behind in this game for real now.
This is the ultimate opportunity for Direwolves to get themselves a victory against the Chiefs. We could be looking at a best-of-3 series going all the way here, Peishu time. And it's looking like on the back of this Baron push, this game will be decided.
And what a series to start it with as well. As Direwolves are positioned to win the game, but certainly need to actually do the job of winning it now. But have been playing smart. I bet the Chiefs a little sloppier than we've seen before. I feel like their comp haven't quite done what they want it to just yet. Of course, they can teamfight when the game goes later, but they have to answer this particular problem. Oh, speaking of problems, Fantix has found his true enemy, the promoted cannon.
God damn that guy.
Can he, like...
He's not even touching it. He's like,
Yeah.
"Screw that. I'm getting the actual last hits over here.
How long will it take for him to kill that?
Not long.
Oh, okay. That's sad.
It won't take him too long at all.
Well, Cheese is going to get blue buff here. See if he can hold on to it this time. Did go a little too deep with the package on the last exchange, and the Lulu Cassidon combo looking good here as Sharp. Also split pushing. Direwolves using these double TPs quite nicely.
Yeah, the fact that Raider has to answer this.
Oh, Polly. Actually, Cannon helping out as well. Wild Growth pop just for the dueling power. He needs it. Raider trying to flash out of the way. Mechanics time for Raider. Good flash from Sharp, but Raider does nail the 1v1.
And Raider gets the revenge outplay mechanically on Sharp this time, whereas he didn't with Raze the first time. This is what the Chiefs need. Someone to step up where Cassidon isn't.
Yep, Fantix again getting aggressed on by Swiper. Swiper, I think, starting to get to a point we can maybe really challenge the Cassidon and get the kill 1v1. So let's watch this 1v1.
It's just amazing how long he stays as a critter for with the Lulu W, but Sharp was focusing the tower to kick it all off. The ultimate doesn't knock up either, but most of the spells connect here from Sharp. It's just that the machine gun Ezreal just constantly hitting those Qs.
Yeah, a little too much damage there, and Sharp will go back to base a little sheepish, but pick himself up a Death Cap and a Void Staff somewhere in and amongst us all. The double AP here from Direwolves, pretty massive all of a sudden with their new influx of gold. And will they keep split pushing, or will they actually force some sort of team fight? I have to feel either way. They're in a decent spot.
Well, they've got Fantix happily split pushing against the Fiora. And I mean, the kill pressure's starting to get there for Swiper, in all honesty. If he hits Vitals, it's actually pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
It's just such a big Kassadin.
So huge. And Baron is up for a little while longer, but I think time's going to run out on that relatively shortly. 4 turrets are through. The Direwolves get a bit of damage done with the Baron, but don't make any massive headway. Slow and steady seems to be the Direwolves method here.
And you can tell by the way the Chiefs are warding right now. They've got emphasis on pink wards in defensive positions that'll last a long period of time. And they're actually controlling and holding their own right now with Vision quite well. It's only in their own areas, though. Only in their own jungle. They can't really branch out any further. And so if they are to make a pick, get a team fight, something that goes out well for them, they're not going to be confident pushing too far.
No, and the Direwolves actually, I think, maybe playing patiently around the Dragon. Dragon 4 is up in about 15 seconds. This is adorable. But still not going to go in just yet.
The riposte is there.
So are the Chiefs. Oh no! Face check Swiper! Just going to get absolutely munched on as he does flash out of the way after a nice little parry. The Chiefs though are going to fight in. Kuden leaps forward. Chop is available, but he needs to TP in.
Raider is playing hyper aggressive, trying to make things work for his team, but even with Swiper having that little health remaining, he still continues with the aggression.
Sybil flying all the way across the river almost on that play. Is Ejim going to get forced back? Sharp did TP down. Direwolves want to force the Dragon. It's done. And now Fantix finds Cheese with a slow. Sybil all the way over. He was going to force a flash out there. And now Ejim, pulverizes the ground. Didn't really have a good combo target anyway, but
it's still not good to see a frustrated ground pound here out of Ejim. Direwolves are starting to turn on the aggression.
Yeah.
Look at Sybil.
He's just hiding behind walls like it's like fiddlesticks right now. Finding all the little pockets.
Yeah.
But Direwolves will disengage. Raider will trim the top wave with his ulti and try and push back the assault. Direwolves have done a good job controlling Dragon. And Dragon 5 is going to make the scary carries that much scarier. You thought Fantix was good now? Just wait till he's powered up with Dragon 5 in 6 minutes time.
And it's so easy to look at this game and question the drafting from the Chiefs by giving him Kassadin above all else. Has definitely showed up in this game. The Chiefs are still in this one. It's only 4K. But with that Dragon 5 as an ever-present issue for the Chiefs, there's some serious win conditions now available for Direwolves.
Yep. And Direwolves have been playing very patiently, pretty much all series long, but they know they've got a good lead this game. I suppose they're comfortable with their scaling, and they probably would be too. Sharp's even going Lichbane as his last item for a bit more carry mode. Even the Lulu, the utility, does actually respectable damage, or will, once she finishes the item, as Radio once again trying to hold the waves back as best he can.
But they've aggressively pushed forward as well right now. They've got 4 members grouped here with Swiper splitting. Chiefs starting to bite back.
Yeah. Did take the reprieve there with the shopping trips to find a nice spot here. And that tower's going to get threatened in the bottom lane pretty soon, so Direwolves are going to have to back away, and the Chiefs are still staying grouped towards mid lane. Top wave, I think, will push as well with Raider's ulti being used. Fantix might be looking for a flank. He's found Spooks. That's a good target. Repel's popped, but they'll wait for him. Now Sybil maybe going to chase in onto Raider, as the ulti actually does nail Ejim, but not the best target. Raider goes over the wall, and the damage is quite good. Swiper about to draw in, but Ejim is forced to flash out. Does get out to safety, but Raze flashes in aggressive. Sybil, massive wombo combo ulti, and the Direwolves pull off a perfect team fight. Swiper, the only one left alive, but not for long. An ace for the Direwolves.
And the Zac and Kassadin combination, coupled with a Lulu ultimate to just knock them all over the place. Sybil comes up massive for his team right now. They win a team fight, complete ace in 40 seconds. Is a very long time for the Chiefs.
The Wolves are rewarded for their patience. They find a picture-perfect fight, a clean ace, and they might just shove to end the game here. Ejim is back in 15 seconds, and the damage is here.
And we are going to game 3 right now. The Direwolves play it back against what was the title-holding team right now in the Chiefs.
Yeah, 1 game away from taking the title and giving the Chiefs their first match loss in a long, long time. We expected it to be a thriller. It is going to go all the way to Game 3. And man, what a way for the Dials to fix so much of what went wrong for them in Game 1.
And nearly a picture-perfect ending to that game as well. The ideal engage, and they couple it so well with Lulu.
Yeah, patient play is rewarded, but we're going to get more on that game from the analyst desk.
What a performance out of the Direwolves, able to make their long-range initiation comp work. But let's take it back. We mentioned time and time again, this composition out of the Chiefs made very little sense into the early pick Braum, and you could just see in the team fights, they could not get it done.
Yeah, I don't know. They decided to pick Poke with a Fiora split. And I mean, Fiora could split. But yeah, they couldn't 4v4.
No, just flat out couldn't. And look, it comes back to Fantix, man. He got Kassadin. He got the Kassadin.
But let's talk about this, because I actually really liked the Chiefs drafts when I saw it for the lane assignments. And then they didn't put the right lane assignments in. You have an Ezreal that is a very, hard counter against Kassadin at the moment, and they still put it bottom lane. That was strange.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one either. I mean, Ezreal fares a lot better than Corki does in that mid lane, especially because a lot of the Q shield from Kassadin is negated. Yeah, don't know why. Maybe they were just following suit from international play. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe Cheese doesn't play it as well.
But
that's also possible.
Yeah, definitely possible. General stat is that at the moment, Corki does 65% magic damage, and that's what we're talking about. So generally in Ezreal matchups, you have to actually max the E on Kassadin. That time around, just max the Q, got through laning phase really easy, took it all over, and it led to this. We actually have a replay of the last team fight. Atlas, I want you to take us through it, because this just shows the range that the Zac has.
Yeah, exactly. And Direwolves, their ability to follow up as well. Let's roll out the clip. And as you can see, Spooks is about to get caught. Fantix over the side gets a massive amount of damage on him with that slow. And Chiefs, look, they do a decent job trying to kite back. You can see Cuden with a brilliant ultimate. Radiant gets the ult over 3, and then it looks okay. Ejim flashes over, gets lots of shields, he's fine, and now everything just goes to hell for the Chiefs. Yeah. It's just done. Sybil gets ulted. Fantix in there with so much AoE after that ult has been charged for so long, and man, it's just Swiper then against the world.
Yeah, and it was almost Sin-esque when you look at how that goes. A lot of people give credit to Sin for the O-Swombo combo.
Yeah.
That was a pretty nasty combo there.
I mean, I really loved that Sybil held on to his ult for so long there. I mean, he got the first engage on the Elise, then kited back out, went back in again on the alley, still didn't ult the entire time until he saw the perfect clump, and gave him the old Sin Wombo.
Yeah, got a lot of work done, but we were also talking that this game kind of degraded. It was, we keep calling it the OS Game 2, guys, because, Game 1 looks very, very clean. It took a while to close out, but you could see that they were still playing to wind conditions. This game had Radiant trying to 1v1 Raze and then failing, so then going to search for Sharp and then winning, and then Swiper, all he wanted to do was kill Fantix for some reason, and he getting caught out. What is up with Oceanic teams and losing their brains in the second set?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know for us, sometimes we feel like we're already ahead in the second game. Obviously, you're not. You still need to play well. And, look, Chiefs they were left lacking a bit.
First game Chiefs have lost in 10 months, Atlas. If they lose this series, it will be the first series they've lost in about 10 months.
Ridiculous.
Do you think Direwolves have got what it takes?
I reckon they do if they manage to at least draft as intelligently as they did in that last game. And we've already stated, this is the Wolves. They're the comeback kings.
Are you sure this time, though? Because when I asked you
I am
about
sure
the
this time,
OSPL
Swan.
legend, you
I
said
am
yes.
sure this
when
time.
I asked you for a
Yes.
prediction, you said Chiefs. I'm just double-checking here, buddy.
No.
Want to make sure we're on the same page. However, guys, we are going to go to a break. When we get back, we'll find out if Atlas is correct. Actually, I don't even know. Let's go to break.